this might not have been the best movie to watch at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I did, and now I'm scared. But I am quite visually pleased with all the bright, tunnel, psychedelic visuals in the movie. So at least that's a plus, even though I think the aliens are coming to get us. That was a really good movie. That was, it kind of played off, like it reminded me like a movie like Predator, where a band of people are, searching for something and they get like killed off one by one. But there was also elements of Close Encounters of the Third Kind in there. There were elements of, like the day the Earth stood still. And there were also, and The Arrival, there were elements of that. It kind of had that feel to it. And there was also a little bit of Under the Skin in it, and Under the Skin was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But especially towards the end with the alien and the music and those kind of visuals, not as colorful. Under the Skin was more black and white, but and this was just very again psychedelic. So so the way the ending wasn't fully explained, but the gist that I got from it was the whole thing with the shimmer and the lighthouse and all that was like a way for the aliens to collect data, and then just when the humans think that the aliens are gone, it's really the aliens are there, and it's Lena and Kane together. So they're gonna start, I guess, the methods of spreading the annihilation, of changing things. So that's why Lena was so vague at the end, because there was probably a combination of Lena and the alien in her. So yeah, like the visuals were excellent. The special effects were excellent. There were some moments like where it was like with the alligator and the bear, it was a little CGI for my taste, so it took me out of it. But then at the same time, like the sound of the bear with the woman who was what was it? The Shannon, I think the name was, the woman who was trapped inside the bear because the bear ate her. So I think the one critique I had was the woman who, like, well, I guess you can chalk that off to the world was making her go a little crazy, because like right away she was just completely paranoid and just like very angry. And I guess because she's not a trained soldier, she's not learned to be composed, but I guess under that stressful situation it's a little different. But she seemed a little too angry, a little too fast. But again, you can chalk that up to just what it was doing to people's minds in there, how everything was just melding together. So I guess it was interesting how the aliens killed off, each person. So what the director who directed his last movie was Ex Machina, and that movie was trippy as well, but trippy in a different sense. It wasn't as colorful, it wasn't as bright, but it had the same kind of darkness as Annihilation did. So it was very well done, excellent cast. I loved how there were all women main characters in it. It was definitely a woman-driven movie. If this movie was made, this movie was made 5 years ago, it would just be a crew of men, and they kind of played off on that because the original crew was men. So now they sent the women to do that. So that was definitely a good touch. Writing was good, acting was really good, special effects was good. Definitely a creepy movie. There was definitely some gore in it, like when Kane cut open the soldier's stomach and you see the worm in him. So there was definitely good special effects. Obviously, the visuals were great. I got a little bit of Enter the Void within Annihilation, especially like with the tunnel effects. Enter the Void wasn't that great a movie either, but the visuals were good. So you had like all the movies I mentioned. Rival was excellent, but like even like Under Skin and Enter the Void, it took like the best parts of those movies and kind of put it in Annihilation. I don't know if Alex Garland did that on purpose or not. It might have been a coincidence, but it didn't matter. So you had the good parts of those movies entered in Annihilation, and overall Annihilation was very good. Again, I may have to watch a comedy before I go to sleep so I don't get nightmares, but that's what I love about movies. It's like, I know it's fake, I know there's most likely not aliens, and if there are aliens, they're like so far away. Maybe there are aliens, the universe is so big, but there's no evidence of them right now. But at the same time, it's the way movies work. It makes at least a little part of me go, oh my God, like the irrational part of me go, oh my God, the aliens are going to get me, even though I know the aliens aren't going to get me. But like it tricks you so much. It just reminds me of just watching horror movies as a kid, or even watching horror movies now, where it's like the horror movie's over. I know that there's no demons, I know that there's no ghosts, I know that there's no monsters, but there's a tiny part of me that's like, I don't want to go down the hallway because the monsters are going to get me, even though I know they don't exist. But listen, that's the beauty of movies, and that's why I love them so much. So I recommend this movie for the creep factor, for the visual factor, for the gore factor, for the acting. Natalie Portman's excellent. All the acting was great, and so I recommend it, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you didn't listen to this podcast before seeing it, because then it would have been spoiled. So if you did see the movie, I hope you agree with me. If not, I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope you listen again. And you can find me at, this is the Music, Movies, and More podcast, and you can find me at MMAM Podcast on Twitter, MMAM Podcast on Facebook, and please rate, review, and share. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.